All right, welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score on Sunday morning, November 6th. This is Pete Ferguson with Peter Ferguson, BHS LLC and Lincoln Public Schools. I'm here with Harrison. We got a couple shout-outs on the line, too, from the last segment, so I wanted to get those out there.
Yeah, we had Vicky Neely chiming in here, so excited about girls wrestling, and then also Anthony chimes in, let's go Rockets. So we got a couple people here. I'm pretty excited about seeing this Rockets team come together.
Fantastic. And we're going to keep it rolling here. We are next joined by Coach Charity, who is the head women's basketball. I say women's head scholar athlete, head girls basketball coach at Lincoln Northeast. And hey, Mom, I'm going to go ahead and apologize. I'm going to say this right. We got Scholar Kiera here, and Scholar Kiera is a member of the Northeast Rockets basketball team. And so apologize. I know I mispronounced her name earlier. I want to make sure I get that right for moms out there. So, but excited to have you both here. Let's just jump right into it. Charity, you've had a long tenure in the community, but tell us a little bit about your journey, who you are, and where you're at right now.
Yeah, so Charity, I'm born and raised here in Lincoln.
Okay.
So I would say I'm a product of Clinton Comets. And then I went off and became a color cougar. Then I finished off in Lincoln at the Lincoln Northeast High School. After high school, I went off and played basketball at the Division I level at SUNY Albany. Came back to Lincoln, took some various jobs working in the community with youth. Then I am now at Lincoln Northeast, back where I left. And I get an awesome privilege of working with our Lincoln Northeast girls basketball program, and then also working as a school counselor there too.
Awesome. And so, you talked about is working as a school counselor and then being the basketball coach, kind of a little bit of a unique, combination right there. Why those two things? I mean, obviously you have a love for sports, but why that mixture?
Yeah. When I came back to Lincoln, I knew that I didn't want to work at any other high school but Northeast. So for me, it was all about waiting for the opportunity to arise. I was able to take that job as the varsity girls basketball coach, and that first year we always joked with our players because I was like, I'm going to get a job here. I'm going to be here Monday through Friday.
I'm going to see you. Yeah. I'm going to see you all acting right and acting up. Yeah.
So after that first year, it happened. And I laugh about it with former players where it's like, I'm here now every single day. My athletes get to see me in the hallway. I get to be in the hallways where I was a student too. And there's teachers that taught me that are still there. So to me, it's just really full circle, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Awesome. I know just being in the district, that the excitement of just having you not only in the district, but also within that building brings, we talked earlier about joy, but brings an immense amount of joy to a lot of individuals. So Kiera, gotcha, right? Go ahead. Give me that thumbs up. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, tell us a little bit about you, your educational journey. Are you from Lincoln? Where did you go to elementary, middle, high school? Tell us a little bit about who you are.
Okay, so I am originally from Chicago.
Okay, Chi-Town. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I moved up here around 4th grade.
Okay.
And I went to Clinton. After that, I went to Dawes Middle School. And from there, I did freshman year at North Star. It was pretty not
okay, it was an experience for you, yeah.
Yeah, so now this is my second year at Northeast.
All right, fantastic. Yeah. So tell us, what are you involved in? Obviously, we know basketball. Do you as far as schooling, are you doing any other activities, things you do in the community?
Last year I had I tried softball.
Okay.
And I also did track, but I don't know if I'm gonna do that this year.
Okay.
But outside of school,
you were just too good. You were out there crushing it. You were like, man, I need to try something else. Next is theater, dance, speech and debate. I'm gonna do the full circuit, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But outside of school, I braid hair in my free time.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I've been looking for somebody. I have been looking for somebody. Those of you online, what this is just it's a background. It's an illusion. So all right. So if anybody wants to braid hair, hey, call the station. You're gonna hook them up. You're gonna put some people out of business. All right. So Charity, tell us a little bit about just what Northeast athletics, but what Northeast basketball has looked like. Obviously, I've had a daughter that, they've competed. And so, has always had a long-standing tradition within the city, past the 2000s to the 80s and the 90s on both the boys and girls side of things. But what have you taken from that? But also, what do you feel like you're adding that may have not been there?
Yeah, well, I think when you think Northeast basketball, you think of tradition, you think of pride. You walk into that gym and there's banners in there, there's the photos in there, the state championships from both the girls and the boys program. So anyone that steps into there, you kind of know that you want to give it your best because there's people that came before you and they've been able to leave their mark, and you want to show respect to former athletes. Being in this position now, I'm just super excited about all the different female athletes that I've had the opportunity to coach entering into my 4th season. When I think Northeast basketball, I think of phenomenal athletes. I think of awesome students on the court, but then off the court too. You think of athletes that are involved in just not only athletics, but they're involved in the school building as well. Kiara didn't say it, but she's actually a part of a program that we have called Sister Circle at Lincoln Northeast,
Okay.
where it's a group of African-American female students that get together once a month. And she's a vital component of that, and her voice is just throughout the building. So I'm going to put that plug in there
Yes.
for her. But so that's what I think about when I think of like Lincoln Northeast, the athletics and the basketball program in particular.
You talked about a couple things, and real quick, like what character does it take that you look for to be a part of the Northeast community?
Yeah.
Not just athletics, but just the Northeast. What is that expectation of character traits?
Yeah, well, I think just this past Friday, we had the Mickle 8th graders A team over at Northeast. So that's for one. It's about giving back to the community, not just being about yourself, but being selfless and giving back. So when you think of an athlete, I think of someone who's willing to give back to their community, someone who is willing to just give effort with what they do, whether that's with the books or on the court. It's not always about ability, but what is your effort level going to be? Because that's something you can always control. And then someone that's just going to have great energy. You walk into the court, you don't want to see, sad faces, grumpy faces. We want smiles. We want kids that are smiling, encouraging, and patting people on the back, and even coaching one another. So those would be the 3 things that I would say for athletes.
Awesome. We always talk about pushing that hope forward. Often we times tell people we want them to have hope, but putting hope forward.
Yeah.
So what do you think, say Kiara? Kiara. Y'all are going to make me, Kiara, excuse me. I'm just going to say Scholar. No, sorry. Hey, what do you think, like, as far as Coach talked about, like, characteristics and traits, what do you look for? What are you looking for in your teammates? So when you have tryouts, when they're coming in, if they don't have these, you're going to be like, I ain't got nothing for you.
I'm looking for somebody who's going to work hard and not give up, but also have great attitude, and also like someone who's going to help each other out. Like I'm looking for people who's not going to put others down, who's like just like be a bigger person.
Absolutely.
And I like what you said in regards to that. What's one of the things like we talked about, like bringing joy into the room? Like how do you go about doing that with yourself? I know Coach talked about you in a group and that council. And so obviously that's something that you do on a regular basis. And I saw you light up and smile, and it's like, you do that. Not just when you braid hair, not just when you play softball, basketball, but how do you bring joy in the room? And I'm going to give you a second part of that. How can others do that?
I bring joy in the room by like just keeping a positive attitude. Even if like I'm having a bad day, I'm not gonna bring that bad energy to other people. I'm gonna like stay like great towards other people. What I'm like looking for towards other people when I say like a positive attitude, like maybe like greeting others, even like great advice towards others. Just yeah.
All right, I'm gonna come back to that. I want that piece of advice. Coach Charity, you said a little bit and you kind of plugged and put some things in that bucket, but tell me about this player right here. Give me 1 line or 3 words about this scholar athlete right here.
Vocal and committed. Kiara is definitely one of the most vocal athletes I have this year. actually, she's probably the most vocal athlete I have this year. And when people think about being vocal and communicating, it's not just like just talking. It's about talking with a purpose, talking with a message. And that's what she does every single day at practice. She is encouraging people. She is uplifting people. She is coaching her teammates. So it's talking and being vocal, but with a purpose, with a message, not just to, be out here talking.
No, that's right? Fantastic. No, that's what it's about. Again, Pete Ferguson, 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score. We're here with two phenomenal, and y'all gonna drill me. So I'm doing my phonetic. Kiera, thank you. Coach Charity here from Lincoln Northeast. Kiera, tell me just the same thing. Give me 3 words or 1 sentence about this coach, because and I'm just gonna be real transparent. Like, representation matters, okay? And so you have a Black female coach in high school. We have talked about this in some of our other segments where we have had scholars come in. They have not had a teacher of diversity or an educator of diversity, or people have gone through a coach of diversity. We talked earlier about, I don't know who the wrestling coach might be, but will it be a male or a female? There may be some different components with that. Like, what does that mean to you to walk into a gym, walk into a building and see Coach Charity each and every day?
It means a lot because she's like very helpful. She's understanding. Like, she's like the best. Like, I love being around Charity. She's
playing time. minutes.
But I love being around her. She just always have like a great attitude, like positivity. Sometimes on the court, practice a little bit, but we still work with it.
Yeah, she gotta get into you though a little bit. Yeah, I mean, you gotta go ahead and roll with it, rock with it, do it, get in that stance. Yeah.
But I appreciate the hard teaching. I appreciate all of that, because you can't really do much with somebody who's not going to give it to you straight up.
Wow. And I think that's huge in itself. Tell us a little bit of a couple mentors that you've had in your life.
Let's start with Charity. She has really She has really been there. Like, she has helped me with school. She's someone I can talk to when I'm in school. Like, it's just somebody I can depend on. Even in basketball, she's a helpful person. I also want to give a shout out to my mother, because she's really the reason why I'm really in love with basketball. Like, her, my brother, they just really inspire me a lot.
Fantastic. Charity, same thing. You talked earlier about some people, but who in your life have been mentors or who have poured into you?
Yeah, I would definitely family. My mom, just with her perseverance, her resilience, her selflessness. My oldest sister, Julie, she's just my sounding board. She keeps me humble. She keeps me focused. I have another sister, Joy, who, is the one that kind of gives me that fire and that desire to keep going with energy. Then Lucky, he's my oldest brother, and he's just always been someone that instills hope in me, and just to keep pushing forward, even when it is tough, even when it is difficult. You just keep pushing forward because you don't know who's watching you.
Right.
And he's someone that I've always watched. So definitely those would be my biggest unit.
Awesome. So, a little bit of just a little segue. What do you think the role is of parents? So you're getting into this season and we're coming in. I see you have that big old smile. What is the role of parents or guardians, as they roll into the high school season, but also just the middle school seasons, regardless of the activity?
Yeah. Be there for your children. It's difficult. Working as a counselor, you get to see a different side of the youth that we have. So I would say be there for your children, but don't be an excuse. So
say that again.
Be there for your children, but don't be an excuse for them. Right. So that looks like encouraging them, listening to them, giving them sound advice about how they can persevere and be resilient, and how what you're learning on the athletic side transfers over to real life situations. So just really being there for your children, but not an excuse.
Awesome. I'm going to ask you the same question, Kiera. What's the role of a parent or a guardian?
Like spending like quality time is very much like the most important, because like you can't really be a parent if you don't know much about your kids. So spending time with them, getting to know them, understanding them, and like not putting them down, like, you know, giving them great advice, just like all that good stuff.
I think when I go back to that quality time, nobody high five. That just immediately popped into my head. So I know AD was on the radio last week, and he was up here singing. Hey, as we close real quick, 3 words or 1 sentence, something you want to put out there.
Give your best at what you do, you know.
Fantastic.
Always believing your judgment.
Fantastic. Hey, what we had here was 4 phenomenal individuals. This is Pete Ferguson with 93.7 The Ticket, bigger than the score. As I said before, and I always say every week, I often forget what people have said, forget what people have done, but I always remember how people made you feel, by Maya Angelou. Please go out, pour into somebody else. Make sure you pour into yourself as well. Have a great week.